Welcome to The Blind. It is season 2, episode 17. We have got Kile Jones with us from Apex Ammunition, and we are going to talk ducks, geese. We're going to talk shotgun shells, and I guess we may have to throw some turkey in there because the duck hunting is not very good right now. But we're going to hit that intro video, and we're going to be back with episode 17 with Kile Jones. Welcome to The Blind, brought to you by Apex Ammunition. We appreciate you for tuning in tonight. We've got our man Kile Jones with us. Yeah, Garrett wears that. He doesn't wear that one.
I'm the only one repping it tonight.
He wears the gray one every hunt.
Yeah,
gray
it's
one. What's
already
it got
so
on it?
nasty. I had to leave it in my closet. It stinks. So I wear it
man,
every hunt. It's my favorite hat.
That's right. Apex, they take care of us, and our man Kile Jones, he's got, I would say, a lot to do with that. He's probably got everything to do with that. But we appreciate Apex for being a sponsor for us, season 1 and here in season 2. And on the screen each and every week, you can see our other sponsors that are not only just sponsors of the show, but are friends of ours, and we appreciate them for helping us put this show on. And each and every week, we come to you live from the Lyle Real Estate Studio. And if you're looking to buy a piece of property and make an investment in some land, to go over and check out lylerealestate.com. And if you are tuning in live on Facebook or YouTube right now, we appreciate you. And if you haven't heard our podcast version, it will be out shortly after we finish the live show here. Go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and check that out, and make sure you hit the little like and follow and subscribe button. We appreciate everybody for listening. Our podcast is growing, so we really appreciate everybody. It's because of you that we get to do this, because if nobody listened, then Apex wouldn't want to help us out to put this on. So but look, enough with all of that.
Tell a friend about it too.
Yeah, that's
Don't
right.
Just like it for
that's
yourself.
Right.
Like it for somebody else.
Share it on Facebook.
That's right.
Man, I remember last year a guy named Brian Bolt called me a couple times, left me a voicemail, sent me an email, and I had just started at Apex. I'm pretty positive you guys were like one of the first guys that I was like, man, like these guys are gonna make me look really bad or really good. So, no, you guys have done, kudos to you guys. You've done a great job of growing your own brand and your show and all that, and creating that following. Hats off to you guys for doing a great job. So, you help us grow, we help you grow. It's a team and collaborative effort there, man. Yeah. What you guys are doing is awesome.
Well, and without getting too far into it, of course we want to talk shotgun shells and everything, but that's really how it happened. I mean, a year ago, I picked up the phone, I started typing emails, and I tell people this all the time, and whether they believe me or not, I don't know. I can't take care of that part, but it's true that the first people that I reached out to surprisingly said, "Yeah, we're in." And
they're right in the middle.
I mean,
Brian called me surprised. Yeah. He's like, everybody said yeah. It's like, really?
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't. We weren't surprised that people, if we had had a show for a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever, I figured people would want to be a part of it if we made it into anything. But we had nothing. We didn't even have a Facebook page at the time. And man, you guys and you especially, Kyle. I mean, we pitched it to you and you believed in us, and man, we just really appreciate you for going out on a limb there for us, and we can't say enough about Apex. I mean, not only that you guys are good to us, but we believe in the product, and we're going to get into a little of that later. But I mean, it's we tell people over and over and over, these aren't just people that pay to be on the screen or we beg to do this or that. And I mean, these are products we truly believe in. That's why we want you guys a part of this. And man, Apex Ammunition has really upped the game, and we're just glad to be associated with it.
Happy to have you guys a part of the team, man. Happy to have you guys there.
And speaking of somebody that's not on the screen but is one of our good friends, is you could see me because it's cold tonight, drinking some Dirty Duck coffee, and that is what is in my cup. And we appreciate Dirty Duck Coffee for being the official coffee of the Blind as well. But Kyle, why don't you tell everybody if they haven't seen the first episode we did with you last season, they may not know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you're from and what you do for Apex.
Yeah, so my name's Kyle Jones. It's on the screen there. You guys have hyped it up enough today, but I'm the director of sales and marketing for Apex Ammunition. Been there, man, almost 2 years, and it has been an amazing ride so far. Coming into it, it still is a very young company, and the guys, Jared, Jason, the whole team is highly motivated to keep pushing the ball forward and moving the needle, and just kind of just growing, just like you guys are doing. Your idea is to grow, ours is as well. And so I did the marketing, helped with the marketing all last year, and then this past summer I took over sales role as well. So just trying to oversee, our sales within the dealer rate, like all of our dealers essentially, but then also our direct market as well, because we do a lot there as well. So, and then overseeing marketing as far as our media, sponsorships, partnerships, everything like that. Jared Lewis is a marketing. If you guys don't know Jared's the COO and one of the owners of Apex, and he makes my job extremely easy because the man he can do some amazing stuff with a video camera and a just a regular camera. Man, he's skilled. I'm sure you guys saw the Alaska video that a few weeks ago. Man, I there's a lot of people that can do that within a 2 to 3 month time window. He did it in about 4 days. So he got home from Alaska and just went MIA. I didn't hear from him. I knew he was going to be. He had been gone for a week at that point up in Alaska, but he went deep in the depths of editing and came out with that. Him and Rob Kinney did a phenomenal job up there working. Rob works with Mossy Oak, and then with Shin and everything like that. Man, all those guys were involved up there. But he makes my job easy. So it's been a fun gig so far, man. It's been a really fun gig.
Well, anybody that's seen y'all or followed you on social media would know just how awesome that guy. I mean, the cinematography and just all that he does, it's incredible. It's captivating. I mean, it's top notch content for sure.
There's whenever you get into a position, there's like a job position, there's a sense of pride that you take in completing the job and doing it well. Jared, he doesn't only want to just complete it and make it amazing and take pride in it, but it's also, I mean, there's ownership in the that's part of his company, that video is reliant on, right? Is the growth of that. I mean, it's huge for there's a overwhelming sense of pride that and passion that he puts into those videos, and it speaks for itself. He does an amazing job.
Definitely.
You don't find many owners of these companies out here doing what he's doing. Usually they're paying people to get the video, to get the photos, to do all of this stuff. And I know you're there with him. You know, you have a hand in it as well, but you don't really see the owners out there getting the kind of content that he's getting. I mean, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. It helps me
but
out from a marketing budget standpoint too, because now he's he's already tied in there. So
that's
some,
right. That's right. That's right. You don't have to send an extra check out.
yeah, that's right.
So you tell everybody, you know, if they didn't catch our episode with you last year, and we've had Jared on with us before, but give everybody a little rundown of how the company started. You know, just kind of an overview and who the owners are and kind of where you know their background, because it's a pretty unique thing and you know just made in the U.S. Everything you want
Yeah.
out of a shotgun shell company.
Yeah, I mean it's all hand loaded. So, well,
Yeah.
the turkey line, as we've grown with the waterfowl, we do have to we're trying to meet a demand, and which is very hard to keep up with right now. So we have had to switch over to, thankfully, to machines with our waterfowl line,
Mm-hmm.
our steel line. But you know, military owned and operated has always been the name of the game for those guys. It's been, you know, Nick, Jared, and Jason. They were all buddies, and you know they were in the military, or their wives were in the military, or are in the military, and they all came together on a hunting trip, and they went on a hunting trip, and I think it was Oklahoma, and you know one of the guys was killing birds and just I mean you guys have seen what TSS does to ducks. I mean it's
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
don't just you don't just hit them. I mean you just it
Kill them.
looks yes, and you know they started discussing and talking about they were amazed by this, and they started discussing um, a business plan and model for it and to bring it to market, because you know at that point the TSS stuff was only hand loaded, like kind of like on the side, like it was a hobby for a lot of,
Yeah.
and still is for some guys, right? So there's a lot of turkey. I mean, especially turkey hunters down south, you know, they hand load TSS on their own, and it's a side gig for some people too, and they wanted to bring it to market to be the first hand loaded TSS offered to the general public. And NWTF of 2017 was their first year putting it out there, and they sold out
Mm-hmm.
within I think the first day. Honestly, I think it was the first couple of hours, and so that fueled the fire. But then you know those guys not only they tried to run a company, but they were also had to deal with deployments. So they went on deployments, and they were trying to operate the company from overseas, and you know relied heavily on family at home it's just pretty cool how you know there was a lot of adversity that you know makes you think like, man, if they can do it there, you know, anything that's thrown their way they can handle, and they can overcome, especially from a company. I mean, trying to run I can't imagine trying to run a company and being like on a completely different time zone. I mean, I have trouble enough as it is with some guys in Washington and California that I try to communicate with, and I'm like, oh man, my bad, I forgot it's 8 o'clock here, but it's 5 o'clock there. You know, I can't imagine trying to do something with you know in Germany. And then Jared he was in I think he was in Syria, or it was somewhere over Middle East, and he was like remote, so he couldn't. He was in the dark for a lot of things. So it was just it's pretty interesting how you know even through those tough times they were able to grow the company to what it is, and then once they got everybody back home, it's just been pretty cool just to see how much more it can grow with you know just amazing communication throughout day-to-day processes and protocols and everything like that. It's pretty cool, and being brought on board, it's pretty humbling.
Yeah, it's definitely a great story of how it started. And, you know, for people that, you know, some people buy stuff and it doesn't really matter, but for people that really like supporting, you know, American companies and buying, you know,
Yeah,
U.S. made stuff, I mean, it's all you want there. And the quality matches it, you know, as well. But I mean, just the story behind how they decided to start this, is pretty cool, and the ties to the military and stuff as well, So it's kind of got the whole shebang there. It's got the backstory. It's got the good old made in the USA, and then on top of that, it's really good product. So.
Yeah.
It should be easy for a marketing guy,
Jared and Jason, they can tell the story a lot better. Obviously, because I wasn't there, but he can go down to the type of pizza that they cooked in this little rental house that they had for the weekend, and they had beer, and they wrote on the pizza box, and that's why that the product that we put out is top notch. It's just when you have that amount of knowledge there, it's and put it on paper, it's hard to beat it.
Yeah. Well, look, Kyle, let's take our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to talk. We're going to dive off into some product, and let's talk about this good stuff that y'all are making over there. And so, Garrett and I have a lot to say about it. So, I don't know if Garrett and I could say enough about it, but we'll talk about that when we come back, and we'll show some love to our sponsors and show a few commercials here, and then we'll be right back with episode 17 with Kile Jones.
Okay, all right.
Welcome back to episode 17 of season 2. Our man Kile Jones from Apex Ammunition is here with us tonight, and we've talked a little bit about the backstory of Apex, but now we're going to dive off into some product. And so, Kyle, for everybody that may not know, tell us what products that you do offer. So ducks and turkeys, and what all do you offer?
Yeah, so we our first, and I guess the flagship line was our turkey TSS, and that was we're the first company to put out TSS on the public, I guess, available to the public.
Yeah.
And got into our dealer base, right? We were the first company to do that, and so TSS is tungsten super shot. So it's giving you the ability to put more pellets in your shell because you're shooting a smaller pellet, but you're providing the same density, if not better or higher densities than other metals on the market. Like a steel is like a 7.6 or 7.8 grams per cc, can get up to like around 8, depending. It's variable. And then bismuth is that 9.6 to 9.8 grams per cc range. Lead, I believe, is like right up around 11 grams per cc. You've got tungsten blends that are or tungsten alloys that are between 11.6 to 13, and then you have straight TSS. From everything that I've been told and taught is that for it to qualify as TSS, it has to be 18.1 grams per cc. So your ability to shoot a smaller pellet but also provide more pellets on target goes through the roof tremendously. So guys are now able, their ability is to shoot a number 9 or number 8 or 7.5s or even number 10s, which might sound crazy to some guys that aren't familiar with TSS. But it's, that number 10 shot is hitting about as hard as a number 5, number 6 steel in those ranges and variables. I mean, you can do, number 7.5 TSS, it hits, like a freaking 2 or a BB steel. Like it's insane. So we were the first company to come out with that turkey TSS line, and then kind of got that was our bread and butter. And then as we grew, we we also duck hunt too. You know, like we don't just turkey hunt, we duck hunt. So we grew into waterfowl to where we were offering a waterfowl TSS. So it's slightly lighter on the payload side versus a 3.5 inch, or for example 3 inch, 2.25 ounce number nines. Well, now we're shooting, we're backed off quite a bit, so you're not as hot for waterfowl. A little bit lighter, but still the same. Number 9 TSS, number 8 TSS, 7.5 TSS. But then we also offer a waterfowl blend, which I know you guys are huge fans of, and that's a blend, a duplex of either BB and 7.5s, 2s and 7.5s, 3s and 8s, or 4s and 7.5s. Yeah, he's probably got one right there.
I do have one.
That's my favorite right there. It's a number 3 steel,
Yep.
the number 8 TSS. So, and then we offer our traditional steel, zinc plated steel, perfectly round pellets, offered in BBs, 2s, 3s, and 4s. And then we do predator loads. A lot of guys shoot predators and pigs. I know that's a big thing for pig guys is you're shooting pigs with a 3-inch number 4 shot, and you can kill them out to 60, 70, 80, 90 yards. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive when you're talking a 100, 200-pound animal.
Yeah.
And then we have an upland line as well. So we've got, basically turkey, waterfowl, upland, and predator. There's some guys that use the predator for pigs, and in some states, based on regulations, for deer as well, when they're pushing deer, like they, instead of shooting buckshot, that's what they're shooting, because we do offer a BB in the predator load, but I know some states they don't allow something smaller than I think it's a double aught or something like that. So
Yeah.
like South Carolina and Georgia guys shoot a lot of deer with our predator loads.
Well, Garrett and I were just wondering if next year you could change the box on this waterfowl load.
Yeah.
If you could call it, put the blind logo on it, and then put a picture of Mike Tyson, because that's what we think of these. Like, these are the knockout punch, and nothing against the TSS, because I'm shooting the 20 gauge TSS this year, and they're the real deal, but the waterfowl load, I mean, the blend is just, it is. I mean, it's.
We got Kyle on, so this is our opportunity to really hype it up. Let's just take it where it needs to go.
We don't have to have him on here to hype it up.
Yeah.
Like, we are. Look, for everybody that watches this or listens to it on the podcast, okay, there will be a few people that hear this. We are not just hyping this up, okay? The steel shot is great. I mean, it's some of the best steel shot I've ever shot. It may be the best. I mean, it's clean. It's it's a great steel shot. But when we're talking about this blend, I cannot say enough about it. I've never shot a shell like this before. That's why I'm so hyped up about
I've
it.
never shot a shell that I could tell a noticeable difference immediately. Like,
Yeah, because
I've
if you're
shot
like
a lot
Garrett,
of
you
different
shoot them.
shells.
Yeah, Garrett
I mean,
shoots them all in the
shot a lot
butt,
of different stuff.
and he
That's
still
right.
kills them.
I
And he still kills them.
Well, see, that's where Jared. I mean, he comes in with his knowledge and his facts, right? He's going to come in and say, well, out to 40 yards, a number 8 and number 9 TSS pellet will pass through a duck.
Mm-hmm.
So him shooting them in the butt, they're coming out the other side.
That's right.
Coming out the head.
There you go.
That's what they're usually doing, is flying away from us.
Yeah.
But I mean, so what? So before you guys made the blend, because I'm not in the ammunition industry, and I have not a lot of knowledge about this, because before we got involved with you guys and you told us about this blend,
Yeah.
were there other blends on the market, or were you guys the first ones to do this?
We were the first ones to do a steel TSS blend.
Right.
There's been other companies that do.
Yeah, that'll mix different shot sizes and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that, and that's cool. But it was never a change in like the ultimate change in densities,
Mhm.
right? Because you have your steel, but then you also have your TSS, which
Mhm.
is just it's insane. What I mean, you guys have raved about it plenty. It's like it just packs a punch, man. It just does. So when we did offer, twos, 7.5s, fours, nines, and BBs and all that stuff. That's been around for, I think, 2019 is when we introduced the blends. Um, so it had those have been around for a little bit, but there have been other companies that do the other size shots anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
So,
mean, do you know the backstory on why they came or how they came up with this? I mean, just one day they decided, why not?
Let's just
Let's
mix them
let's
together.
let's mix
yeah,
them together.
See what happens.
honestly, I don't know the backstory, but I know that Jared was probably just like, man, let's try it.
Yeah,
Like there's 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 plenty of data that shows its effectiveness. I mean, there's
yeah,
That's what I was going to ask. Is
plenty of
there a way that
reviews
they
as
can
well.
test it?
It's just there's plenty of reviews too that provide that can back that data up too. But honestly, man, I think it was just like, let's offer something better than let's offer something better than steel, but better than any other mid-range price shell. Because in my opinion, I mean, my backstory is I shot, for a long time. I shot a particular company shell, and whenever I moved back to Washington, I was handed a box of Apex because I was working for a decoy company at the time, and handed a box of Apex, and it was the blends, and I shot it, and I was like, wow, that was better than anything that I'd ever shot before. And that's how it all came. Like I was shooting it before even getting offered the job, and believed in it, loved it, and helped promote it when I could, and then introduced a ton of my buddies to it. And they're just like, man, like, we love it. For four, ammunition prices are ammunition prices. It's just how the way of the world right now. But we wanted to offer something that's competitive with any of the $400 to $450 case shells. That's
Mhm.
better, and
Yeah,
that's just the fact is it's better than those shells.
yeah. And
So,
I mean and that's the thing that we want people to understand when they hear us talk about these
yeah,
is that we're not raving about them because they're our brand of shells, right?
yeah,
Because just like you said, I shot the same brand. I
yeah.
was loyal to the brand, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I didn't know if there was better out there. They just did well for me, so I was loyal to them. That's what shell I shot.
Yeah,
And man, it when you can really tell a difference, like Garrett said. I mean, it's unbelievable when that light switch when it flips on, when you can tell it when you shoot it, and you're like, man, I've never been able to tell a difference in a shell when I shot it until now, and it's unbelievable when you can do that.
you guys were
Yeah.
both at the Delta Duck Expo,
Yeah.
right? And in Little Rock, Arkansas, we had a small booth set up, and I mean, I don't know how many people came up and were just like, man, shot y'all's blended stuff this year. Oh my god! And they
Yeah.
just go, they go into their story about their experience, and that's part of our slogan is experience your best shot, right?
Hmm.
And man, like, I've not met a person that has shot a duck with our blended load or our TSS load that says, I'll go back to shooting what I was shooting.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Well,
And
and you
that just speaks volumes and speaks for itself of the product that you put out.
but then you've got these that, like you said, are middle range, shells. You're not going to buy them for $150 a case. You're just not going to.
No.
But they're worth the money when you can tell a difference, and you're not chasing crippled ducks, and you could tell that your shots are cleaner. And if you're really worried about that kind of thing and being an ethical hunter, or you just don't want to chase ducks because you're getting old and fat like Garrett and I, then you need to spend the extra money,
Yeah.
and it cuts down on all of that.
Well, I mean, let's break it down even further, right? Now, this is where a lot of guys don't. The guys that buy 6+ cases of shells a year of steel, like, hey, dude, that's fine. I get it. like that's your deal, that's your thing, you will shoot less at birds with the blends, guaranteed. So
We
you will
definitely shot less this year.
You will,
Yeah.
yeah. I think everybody did, man.
Had nothing to do with the
This
shells,
year is
though.
not good for shell sales.
You like instead of instead of shooting 2 to 3 times at a crippled duck. I mean, there is nothing more
Or
bulletproof than
6
ducks.
or 8.
Yeah, there's nothing more bulletproof than a duck swimming away at 40, 50 yards. That's, it's got its head right above the water, just kind of swim. We've all been there. And it's like the whole blind unloads. You're 3 shells in. Well, you will go through less shells when you shoot a more quality, a heavier hitting shell. It's
Well,
just
I think it was Jared that said last year we were talking to him. He's like, everybody has all this expensive gear. You got decoys, you got nice waders, you got a nice boat, you got all these things, and you take it all the way to the point of the kill, what you're actually there to do, and then you're going to spend
The
little
least amount.
peanuts compared to what you spend on everything else, and that's what's going to get you what you went out to get.
yeah.
You got a $200 duck call that you can't blow. You got a $5,000
Yeah.
dog that won't pick up nothing, and then you want to shoot the cheapest shell on the market.
Well,
Yeah.
we've discussed it, man. I've been on 45+ minute conversation with Jared, and it's just like, man, like, because we talk often. We talk 3 to 4 times a day, every single day, and it's one of those things where it's just like, man, like when you really break down the hunting aspect of it, of everything that goes into the hunt when it comes to what you are most reliant on in getting you to that point there, why skimp out and go cheap?
Yeah.
Unless you just can't afford it, and that's fine.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
it
totally
is
fine. We've
yeah.
all been there.
Yep, I've been there. I mean, shoot, dude,
Hell, I'm still there.
it's yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people with boat payments in the state of Arkansas that aren't really running them right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
it's,
and it's not. And back to what I was saying earlier, it's you don't have to buy the most expensive thing out there.
That's right.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
But it's worth the money. Your shells,
You're paying for quality.
Apex's shells are worth the price on them.
Mhm.
And I'll stand behind that all day. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's they're not the most expensive shell out there on the market, and they're not going to be the cheapest, but they are worth the price if you ever try them out. They're worth it. And I mean, I guess that's about the clearest statement that I could say on it. We can sit here all day and try to sell people on it, but I mean they're worth it if you'll try them out. They're worth it. But well, look, let's talk a little more about some shells. We're going to take one more break, and then we're going to come back and talk. Let's talk a little bit about. I know it's not turkey season, but the way Arkansas season's going right now, we may need to talk turkey hunting. But let's talk some turkey shells, and because we had an opportunity to shoot those this year as well. And man, when we patterned those, I was impressed. I'm not a big turkey hunter. Garrett has gotten me into turkey hunting, but let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some more about the waterfowl loads and some turkey loads as well. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to episode 17. Kile Jones, the man, here talking everything Apex ammunition. And if you just missed it, we talked for 30 minutes about the waterfowl blend. And so, do you guys have any of these in stock right now?
We do. You just gotta scour the website for them.
Yeah.
Rogers, Max Prairie Wings, they're gonna have them. They should still have them based on the reports that I got. like yesterday. So unless somebody came in and bought a whole bunch of shells at once, they should still have some. So I think they got 2s and 7.5s there at 12 gauge.
Well, I know Rogers is really good about getting stuff out and shipped out really well. And
Oh yeah.
so if you want to order some after listening to the podcast, you still got a little time here in Arkansas to get you some, or run over to Max Prairie Wings and just buy some in person. But you need to experience it. Your best shot. So, but look, let's talk a minute about the turkey loads. I mean, Garrett, like I said, is more of a turkey hunter than I am. I'm trying to get into it if the snakes would leave me alone. But man, we're impressed with it. And when we went out,
I'm not a big turkey hunter. Let's not hype me up.
You're a lot bigger than
I've
I
killed
am.
I've killed a few turkeys, and I really enjoy it. But I still got a lot to learn when it comes to turkeys. It's tough.
Well, that's kind of where you guys got your start at, and you're really, really good at what you do. So let's talk about the turkey loads a little bit.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. I mean, the turkey loads, they're just absolutely incredible. I mean, it goes back to waterfowl. It's, I've not met a turkey hunter that says, "Oh, I'm going to go back to shooting lead," right after they shoot TSS. I'll go back to shooting number 5, number 6 lead, number 4 lead. It just doesn't happen. The pattern density that you get with TSS, as long as you have the right choke shell combo, man, it is absolutely wicked. One thing, there's kind of a bad rap that TSS gets for being something that you can shoot something at a further distance with it, right? I don't know if you've ever, I know you guys have paid attention to our marketing and our ads and all that stuff. Distance is something we never promote, never market, because we fully believe that we want to provide the most ethical shell and lethal shell on the market. And we feel like that's what we do with TSS. And that's why we only show patterns out to 40 yards, because 40 yards and in to us,
That's the goal, is to get it within that distance.
Yeah. I mean, granted, there's situations where, you have to maneuver real quick and there's a bird trying to run away from you. And I get it. We've all been there. It's hunting. It's never a guarantee or a controlled outcome. And it's just something that it's like, man, you got to control what you can control at the end of the day. And knowing what your pattern is, what it provides out of your gun and choke combo is, that's 100% controllable by me. And we provide something that's the most lethal, in my opinion, on the market. So it's just, it's
a good thing for a guy like me is if I'm sitting and I'm out in the middle of a field, I have a hard time telling you the difference between 35 and 55 yards.
Yeah.
And so if I do shoot one a little further than what I normally would have or would like to, at least I know I'm still going to kill that bird ethically.
The field turkeys, especially you get a guy that comes, from Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, somewhere where there's a lot of turkeys killing them in the woods or hunting them in the woods, and 40 yards in the woods is kind of on the ground is a long shot.
Yeah,
but right. It's still it's doable. But you put them out in a field and it's like, man, 40 yards it looks real close compared to, you know what I'm saying? It can be deceiving.
Or 50 or 55, you might think it's 35.
Yep, exactly.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, even on the turkey hunting and the waterfowl side, about and this is something that Garrett and I have discussed, especially this year, and even further back in the last year, where we really, really focused on getting the right combination between our shell that we're shooting and our choke, because I think there's a big gap there to where people will shoot a shell and it's the shell's fault, where in turn you got to have the right combination, because every shell is not going to shoot out of the choke the same. I mean, it's just not. It's not going to shoot the same pattern. And when I went and bought a new shotgun last year, I called you or texted you while I was buying the shotgun and said, "Hey, what choke do I need to get to shoot these Apex shell? What have you seen that is most effective? And you told me what you were shooting in your gun, and I don't know if there's one that's just the most effective, but you told me that yours shot well with a specific choke, and that's what I got, and it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And
It was was it for turkeys or I can't
no,
remember.
it was for ducks.
It was for ducks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how important is that with what you guys are doing with ammunition
Oh yeah.
to preach that to people about, make sure you have the right combination.
Every day. I mean, our customer service manager gets 10 phone calls a day asking, what choke do you guys recommend for this? It's literally our customer service line is like what the hardcore waterfowler forum is on Facebook. It's
Yeah.
what choke tube do you guys recommend? It's
Yeah.
like it's exactly that right there. And we there's a reason like Jared has hundreds of photos of chokes, everything. Mossbergs, Weatherbees, Stogers, Frankies, Benellis, Berettas, Brownings, you name it, man. Every single gun choke combo that we put out, it's or every single gun and shell combo or choke combo that's out there. He's shot it. He's tried it. He knows how many pellets you can expect to get in a 30-inch circle. And then you throw in the fact of, hey man, I patterned this on a 30-degree day, and now it's like, okay, like a 60, 65, 70-degree day, there's gonna be a slight little difference there too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of variables there, but man, we try to know exactly what choke anybody would recommend, for a guy that's wanting to shoot 3-inch 20 gauge number 9s, and I'm shooting a Benelli M2. We're gonna be like, all right, you probably want to shoot a Indian Creek 562 or a Jeb's 565 for your choke, and that's what's going to provide you the best bang for your buck, best pattern for a turkey load. So there's a lot of credibility that comes with that too. From a standpoint of, like, you're not going to go buy a duck call from somebody that doesn't know how to duck call, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. We need to know the ins and outs of our guns and your gun. If you were to say, oh, I got a Beretta A400 20 gauge coming, what choke do you recommend? We need to know that to be able to provide that educated answer to you. So,
well, and it's good that the owners are gun and ammunition junkies. They want to
They
know
love
that kind
it.
of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're smart. Like when we were talking to Jared, he was so smart that me and Garrett were just like, man, I feel like such an idiot after talking to him, because it was just so in depth, of what he was saying. And Garrett and I were like, I've never even thought about that before. But So when is Apex coming out with their own choke?
Oh
I was
man,
thinking the same thing.
I don't know. It's hard to just because, like, man, you go from shoot. It's hard to try to do that because there's so many different changing variables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, if a guy wants to switch from a number 9 to a number 7.5, there might be a choke tube difference that we recommend. Or between a Mossberg and a Stoger, a Mossberg and a CVA or anything like that. It's we need to have that Swiss Army knife type variable change there that we can switch up really quickly. So I mean, it's ever changing. Man, it's I don't know if the choke tube thing is going to be something that we do. There's a lot.
Your plate's already full.
Yeah, there's a lot of choke tube companies out there that make a great product, and we love being able to either take it and that gun we'd recommend a True Lock. This other gun we'd recommend a Some Toy or an Indian Creek or a Jebs or anything like that. Man, it's I think it also creates a whole lot more credibility within the brand too. Is when you're not just trying to pump the brand.
Yeah, you're not pushing. Well, and also you're not just pushing one choke company.
Yeah.
You're not just saying, hey, Carlson, or Jebs or whatever it might be. This is the choke for for this. You guys are, because when I talked to you, and now that I think back on it, I asked you about waterfowl and turkey hunting because I was wondering what to shoot that TSS through, turkey hunting, and I got a choke for that too. But it was, you gave me options, so it made me trust what you were telling me.
It was a Benelli 20 gauge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, and I think you recommended it was like for waterfowl, it was like a Jeb 585 or 590, one of those two, and then definitely for our favorite, I mean, is for that 20 gauge, the Indian Creek 562. That's just a hammer. It's a great choke tube for a 20 gauge.
Well, look, let's take one more short break, and when we come back, the dreaded time has come. We want to talk about your duck season. I know your duck season has ended where you are, but
Mike, let's
we need some sound effects.
Let's talk about college football, man. My team is playing for the national championship on Monday.
You know what? We can definitely squeeze some of that in because as long as Texas isn't in it, hey, I'm good. But yeah, let's take our last commercial break of the night. We're going to come back with our last segment. We're going to talk some college football, some duck hunting and goose hunting, and kind of what's coming down the road for Apex. So we'll take a short break. We'll be right back, and we'll have the last segment of the night with Kile Jones. Kyle, what I need from you is to get with Jared and see if he could build us a commercial for this thing.
Yeah.
Because we've talked
now. He did it on purpose.
While we got you here.
Yeah, I mean, just
we need our name on the box. We need a commercial.
Yeah, I mean, come on, But, you can't put Mike Tyson on one of the boxes, but we could probably work out a deal where you could put Garrett on one of the boxes like this, instead of, but it probably wouldn't pack as much punch.
Anybody, probably. Wouldn't scare anybody.
But no, I mean, gosh, y'all do so much good stuff, and we want one. So you get with Jared and see what we could do.
I will talk to him about it right after we get off this call.
No, he won't.
No. But no, look, we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And, you and I have talked some, a couple months back and stuff. You taking on kind of the new role that what you do. You're a busy guy. I mean, you're all over the place, but you're handling all kinds of stuff. So when I say that, I truly mean it. I appreciate you taking the time to be on with us tonight and talk about Apex and all this other stuff. But let's talk a little bit about college football. So the semifinals was last night.
I got him excited.
And so Texas got beat out. So I think that the whole country is happy about that. And but man, Washington and Michigan going to play next weekend, I believe it is. Is that it? The 8th? Is that next Saturday? When is that? Sunday?
It's Monday.
Next Monday.
Okay.
Monday.
Okay, so it's on a Monday. And they're going to play. So you being in Michigan, I'm assuming that you're a big Blue fan?
Oh, dude. So it's pretty wild. I've been a Michigan fan since my dad's from Michigan. My brother, my brother's 10 years older than I am. So when he's 16, 15, 14 years old and just running around the house talking about Michigan, that's something that I was just brought up being a fan of. Well, I also lived in Washington. So there was always a secondary team that you're like, man, be nice to see them win a little bit. So now it's like, man,
you should go buy a lotto ticket, man.
Yeah, I know. I need to definitely, but no, it's pretty cool to see them. I'm never, Michigan's always been, get to the Rose Bowl, lose, or they've never had a good bowl record or bowl win record. Being a fan for them, and that's, I can only count, man, since. Shoot, dude, I've been to the Rose Bowl before, watched them lose a heartbreaker to Texas. Unfortunately, Sounds like the team that you're not a big fan of, but
Well, we're Arkansas fans, and we do
Okay.
not like Texas.
okay. So that was I think it was the year before Texas won a national championship. It's 2005. I think they won in 2006. Is that correct? I can't.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was the year everybody figured out who Vince Young was.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
that
Mhm.
was
Oh, yeah.
Vince Young. He was ahead of his time because I mean, you look at the quarterback right now, and it is completely different from what the
Mhm.
quarterback was then. So I got to watch that, experience a heartbreaker in Pasadena, and it's pretty cool that they're going to a national championship. It's pretty amazing, man. I'm pumped up about it.
Well, last night was the first Michigan game I've watched all year.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I have to say this, I was impressed. I really
Dude,
was.
I was so nervous. Alabama is Alabama.
Absolutely.
It's Alabama.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me yesterday morning who I thought was going to win that game, I wouldn't have said Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I was like, man, I watched Ohio State get dog walked by
Yeah.
Zoo, and then you get Iowa absolutely obliterated by Tennessee, and then you get Ole Miss beating Penn State, and then Wisconsin losing to LSU, and I'm like, Big Ten, dude, they're about to get wrecked by
Yeah.
the SEC. So I was like biting nails, and then they started coming out 5 sacks in the first half. I was like, all right, this is pretty legit. So
Yeah.
Well, at
I
the
was,
end
I
of
was
that
very
game,
impressed.
At the end of that game, whenever Michigan scored, tied it up with like a minute and 30 left, I was like, that's too much time. Alabama's going to drive it down there. They're going to kick a field goal to win it. That's the most Alabama thing ever. It's going to happen.
Well, see, that penalty, remember, like 2 plays before the touchdown it was 4th and 2, and Corum caught a short pass that went for like 25 yards, but it came back 10 yards because of a penalty.
Yep.
If he wouldn't have got that penalty, I fully believe that Alabama would have drove the ball down and scored at least a field goal.
Yeah.
Because then they would have been 10, 15 yards closer to the end zone. They would have scored, and then you're talking, man, there's a minute plus left of this game.
A minute's way too long.
And the dudes
feel good about it.
And Milrow's been getting 10, 15 yards a carry the entire second half, just like boom, boom, boom. It was like a robot out there. Just, I mean, they played great, man. And the defense came out ready to hit, man. It was pretty impressive. But they're gonna have, you get Washington, they're passing for 400 plus yards a game. That's gonna be
that quarterback's unbelievable.
He's good.
Quarterback.
I'm calling it now.
Man.
Michigan beats Washington by 20 in the national championship. It's just not going to happen. Man. Michigan is the real deal. And I'm not saying that because they beat Alabama. I'm saying that because it was the first time I watched them.
Yeah.
And they are the real deal. They will beat Washington by 20. You heard it here
I don't know if
first.
by 20, but I think they'll win.
I think they dog.
But that quarterback for Washington's special.
He's good.
When you watch the ball come out of his hand, it's electric.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
So Marcus Murphy commented on here that the best way to improve judging distances, Garrett, is to play more golf. Well, it says it's a true story.
That's probably the worst way.
Here's my true story.
That's definitely the worst.
Garrett, it's not going to help Marcus. I appreciate the effort of you trying to help my buddy out, and I'm going to throw myself in there as well, Garrett, so I'm not just sticking you out there by yourself. We are so bad at golf that literally we quit playing because we played for 5-6 years and it was so frustrating that we were getting worse than getting better. And so we just quit.
Riding the cart, we tried walking, we tried all of it.
I'll give you guys props, man. Like, you started talking about snakes from turkey season, and then you start talking about golf in the South, and it's hot, it's sticky. I'll stay up in Michigan.
Yeah.
For
Well,
the
you're not missing anything.
no snakes.
Yeah.
It doesn't get super hot. It doesn't get super sticky. I'm blessed.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about. I don't know if blessed is the word for our duck season right now, but how's your duck season been going?
Well, my thing up here, it wasn't good. It was not a good duck season up here. Early season, we're such a unique state because we have so much breeding habitat. So we at the beginning of the season we generally have a lot of ducks unless something cold comes through early. So we get a ton of wood ducks early, a lot of local mallards, black ducks, puddle ducks, stuff like that. So early season, it's pretty dynamite. I was up in Canada for 2 weeks at the end of September into October, and it was behind up there. It was getting cold every day, and it was still, the last second to last day. I think it was when we got a really good push of new ducks into the area, and that was Alberta. I mean, that was. I mean, there's plenty of ducks around, but we're just still waiting on new ones, and then around here, man, it was just mild weather. I mean, it was 55 degrees up here in Michigan last week, and to top it off, we I'm surrounded. My house is surrounded by farm ground, so this corn was up until second week of December. So you're talking no food really around unless they're going to go hit beans, which most of the farmers up here, they still utilize, plowing and disking and all that stuff. So they go after they cut it and combine it, they're immediately turning it over. So there's really not a whole lot of food. And, there's no weather to push anything out. It sucked, man. Like it was not a good season. Typically, like we've got a 2-day season that's in, it was just this past weekend on Saturday, Sunday, the 30th and the 31st. We've got a 2-day season where we can shoot both ducks and geese, and it was the worst one I've had in years. And typically, those 2 days we can go shoot to our limits of ducks and limits of geese because we've got traditionally we have tons of birds in the area. We have very little open water, so they tend to congregate. But now there's open water everywhere. There's water in every single agricultural field. And then you put on top of that, it was all just cut 2 weeks ago. So there's still plenty of food. So you got open water, warm weather, and a fresh dinner plate for everything. So then it just makes it extremely inconsistent, and just hard to pattern birds, hard to figure out what they're doing. So much like basically just like the rest of the country, my duck season was a little slow. So I wish I could say it was better, but I will say it's looking better for you guys.
We hope that we get a couple weeks of this cooler weather pushing through, and of course I guess it's just wishful thinking and hoping, but I guess the whole country's just finally feeling how we feel being Arkansas Razorback fans, football fans, because the only thing everybody can think of is, well, maybe next year, So that's what it's like being an Arkansas
We've
football
been saying
fan.
that for a long time as Razorback fans.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
So that's what we're kind of hoping right now. We hope we get a little bit before the end.
Keeps talking me off the ledge with this duck hunting. I'm just saying, I just get depressed. It's just so bad.
He's got the blues.
All so small. Well, we're so small-minded in how we think about it. And Brian just keeps saying, it's not just us, it's everybody. And now to hear, even in Michigan, it's the whole country.
Oh, dude,
it's not just Arkansas. It's not just Texarkana.
There's not even places I'd like. There's not even a place I would drop everything to travel to right now, unless it was to shoot like a specific, like if I want to go somewhere to shoot a cinnamon teal or a scoter or an eider or something like that, right? Like a very target specific deal. But like, man, like there's guys in Alaska still shooting widgeon, and it's just, I get it. It's just it's a warm year, but it's like this across the country. It's brutal.
Yeah. It's pretty pretty bad. And so, but well, man, you just hang on. I know y'all's season already is closed, so you're kind of over it now, and you
Yeah,
leave it up to us for another month to
He's
sit
ready for
down here
turkeys now.
and
That's right.
waller in our our sorrows. But it is what it is. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we're living for next year, and we're used to that as Razorback fans. So, but Kyle, man, we appreciate you for being on with us. Before we let you go, if somebody wants to go visit the website, either order something or just check it out to get more information, give everybody the website.
Yep, it's www.apexmunition.com. And then our Instagram is Apex Ammunition. It's pretty Apex_ammunition. And then Facebook's Apex Ammunition as well. Myself and Jared are the guys that run the Instagram. So if you guys have questions, DMs, or anything like that, if you have, want to get more info, if you DM us, more than likely it's going to be me or him that's answering that DM.
Yeah.
So it's you're getting one of us. So
yeah. And you said Rogers, Max Prairie Wings.
man, we've got a ton of dealers, and it's growing, thankfully. And we got Rogers, Max Prairie Wings, Cypress Creek in West Tennessee. We've got D&W in Northeast Arkansas. We've got a ton of places throughout Mississippi and Alabama and across the United States, man. It's just it's pretty cool. But Rogers.
Is there a list of something on your website
Yep,
that they can see your dealers?
There's a dealer list right on the website there. We need to add a few more, and just we're a little behind on that, but we do. It's growing daily, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, we got a ton of dealers out there to find Apex in. A lot in Louisiana, Simmons Sporting Goods, Fort Thompson there and around Little Rock. I mean, they got our stuff there too. So there's a lot of stores out there carrying our product.
Well, awesome. Well, go over and check it out on apexmunition.com. And you can also go over to our page. If you're on our Facebook right now, you can look on 99% of our posts, and we're going to have them tagged in there, so you can click on there and find their Facebook page. Same thing with Instagram. If you visit our Instagram, their link is there as well. So go over and check them out, and man, go to their website and look at their dealer list and see if there's one near you. And man, just go pick up one box. Go pick up a box and try it out, and just see if see if you experience your best shot. I mean, we're telling you. I mean, go buy one box if you don't want to buy a case.
You won't be disappointed.
And just try it out, and then Facebook message us and tell us how right we were. And because we love to take the credit, but man,
Brian just likes to hear it when he's right. That's all.
Look,
And
I'm just telling
I don't
you.
ever tell him.
There's a lot of times that you can debate whether I'm right or not, but go buy you a box of these blends, okay? And then you come back. And I already know I'm right. You don't even have to tell me. But look, all jokes aside, go visit them on Facebook, Instagram, their website. Are y'all on anything else? Twitter? I don't guess it's called Twitter anymore. X or whatever it is.
No, we're not on X. We got Threads, but we're kind of inactive. We just kind of jumped on that just to kind of see what it was about. But mainly Facebook, Instagram, our regular, our website. But then our YouTube is something that we're trying to get more involved with and get more stuff up on there. The Archipelago is up on there as well. It's about a 9-minute short film that Jared put together in about 4 days. And it's just it's a work of art. So we're trying to get more active and provide some more short film type stuff over the next, course of the next couple of years. Awesome.
Well, Kyle, we appreciate you, buddy. If you are, if you listen to our podcast, again, make sure you subscribe. Our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify is growing, and we appreciate everyone for doing that. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button so when we put out another episode, you can get a little notification when it comes up. And this episode will be out in, I don't know, an hour or so. Our man Cam, who puts it together for us, he's pretty quick on it, so it may be ready in 10 minutes. Who knows? But he's really, really good behind the scenes. So a big shout out to our buddy Cam for doing all that he does for us. But make sure you go over and visit apexmunition.com. Check them out on social media. And Kyle, until next time, buddy, we appreciate you, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys, especially your support through everything. And it's been like I said at the beginning of the show, man, it's been a heck of a journey watching you guys grow. Kudos to you guys for building what you guys are doing. And I can't wait to see what the next couple of years have in store for you guys. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you very much.
It.
And so this is going to do it for episode 17. We will be back next week if you are listening to this. And we're going to talk some we're going to really get into some duck hunting next week. We have got our man Kaysen Short that is going to be on with us next week. Kaysen, love that guy, man. Every time I talk to him, I mean, he's full of knowledge. And, we're not partial here either. We say it all the time. We may not be the best podcast out there, but look, you need to go listen to his podcast. What is it? The Sportsman podcast? Standard Sportsman.
Standard Sportsman.
Yeah.
And it's I've got it liked on my stuff, and it's a great podcast. We don't mind giving a plug to somebody else. There's plenty of time to listen to all of them. But go check out the Standard Sportsman, and we're going to have Kaysen on with us next week, and we're going to talk a little bit of everything with him. He's full of knowledge. So, Kyle, again, we appreciate you, buddy. We hope to see you. Will y'all be at Delta this year?
Yes.
Expo?
We should be there. Yep. Now it's in
Yeah, man, I hate that. Yeah, they moved it to Baton Rouge.
That's a whole nother deal that we could get into there, another 15 minutes, but that's I don't think it's beneficial in my opinion, but hey, it is what it is. So
Just my opinion. I think some people with some money wanted it a little closer to home, so I think that's just my opinion.
well,
man.
I mean, like I think that Delta, if you look at the amount that Delta, where they gather most of their funding from, I think Louisiana is like one of the top states for them. So that's an understandable.
Yeah,
you get it for them.
If you don't have the answer, follow the money.
that's right. Well, hey, and if you're paying plenty of money, we'll move it where you want it. So,
That's right.
But look, we hope to see you there, man. We'll be there this summer, and hope to see you, and we'll catch up some more then if we don't talk to you before then. I'm sure we will, but you're a busy man, so if we don't, we'll see you this summer, and we appreciate you taking time out for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Go Blue.
All right, we'll see you next time right here on The Blind.